So, I've been reading about these new laws in Florida and Texas that require hospitals to ask patients about their immigration status. It seems like a pretty controversial topic.
It definitely is. I've heard a lot of mixed reactions to it. Some people think it's necessary to ensure that undocumented immigrants aren't taking advantage of the system, while others argue that it's discriminatory and will discourage people from seeking medical care.
I agree. It's important to have a nuanced discussion about these issues and to consider the impact on all parties involved. We need to find solutions that are both humane and effective.
Absolutely. It's a challenge, but I believe it's possible to create a healthcare system that is accessible and equitable for everyone.
I can see both sides of the argument. On one hand, it's understandable that people might be concerned about the cost of healthcare for undocumented immigrants. But on the other hand, it seems like this law could have a chilling effect on people seeking necessary medical care, especially if they're afraid of being deported.
Exactly. The article mentions that some people are actually leaving Florida because they're worried about the impact of these laws on their access to healthcare and employment. It's a real shame that people are being forced to make such difficult choices.
It's interesting that the article mentions that the data collected by Florida officials might be unreliable. It seems like there's a lot of uncertainty about the actual impact of these laws.
Yes, the article points out that the data is self-reported, and many people choose not to answer the question about their immigration status. It's hard to get a clear picture of the situation when the data is so incomplete.
I wonder if these laws are really about controlling immigration, or if they're more about making a political statement. It seems like they're playing into the fears and anxieties of certain segments of the population.
That's a good point. It's hard to ignore the political context of these laws, especially given the timing of their implementation. It's definitely a hot-button issue that's being used to mobilize voters.
I'm curious to see how these laws will play out in the long run. Will they actually deter undocumented immigrants from seeking health care, or will they simply create more barriers and anxieties for everyone involved?
It's a complex issue with no easy answers. I think it's important to keep an open mind and to be critical of the information we're presented with. We need to be careful not to fall prey to fear-mongering and to remember that everyone deserves access to quality healthcare, regardless of their immigration status.